Right, okay, my name is Mr. Parry. If you don't know me already, I'm one of the maths teachers at the Edinburgh School. I'm second in charge in the department. I'm going to take you through two real presentations today, talking about maths and further maths A-level. Firstly, why should you study it, and secondly, what do we do so amazing at Edinburgh, so why should you choose to study maths here? So first of all, we'll just go through the general sort of subject why you should be studying maths. So here we go. There's a whole load of stuff that it does. You've got the qualifications it will lead to, so it's a really good step up to other things, or indeed if you don't want to just keep going with maths. You can increase your knowledge and understanding, which is just general sort of self-improvement. Really, doing maths does make you a better person. I strongly believe that to be true. It's preparation for university, for other A-levels, for key skills for employability. Employers really do value A-level maths and further maths as a qualification. It really does show you can do a lot of stuff. So we offer two maths courses, as I've mentioned, A-level maths and A-level further maths. Now if you're going to be doing further maths, you've got to be doing maths as well. You can't do further maths by itself. In essence, further maths is the more challenging one that's added on to it, so it's supposed to be harder than maths. So you need to do maths, and then further maths builds on that. So yeah, further maths is an additional one, more breadth and depth to it. More difficult. Yeah, but maths is still difficult itself. So the normal maths A-level just extends what you do in GCSE, introduces some new ideas as well. Okay, so this is just talking about maths A-level. This course is divided up to be 2/3 pure mathematics, 1/6 statistics. You'll have met some kind of pure mathematics already, so the algebra is a big part of it, something you call calculus that you'll meet. And some number skills as well, trigonometry, geometry, those kind of things feature heavily in that. Statistics, you've already met probability and various diagrams like histograms and cumulative frequency and statistical sampling, all that kind of stuff. That keeps on going. And then you've got mechanics, which is a big sort of physics kind of thing. You'll have done a bit of that with variable various things, sort of like acceleration, distance, speed, time, all that kind of stuff. A bit of an overlap of physics there. So if you're doing physics, this bit really helps. So pure maths, as I've mentioned already, proof, you've done a bit of that. Algebra, you've done a lot of that. Trigonometry, you've done plenty of that. Calculus and vectors, so you've done some of those. You may not have known that you've done calculus, but the stuff to do with finding the gradient and finding the area underneath the graph, that's where calculus is coming from. Here's a kind of problem you might get in pure maths. So you may have done some circle equations bits in GCSE. This just sort of shows that it's taking it on a little bit more. I mean, typically in GCSE you'd be given the equation of the circle, whereas in A-level maths maybe you have to find the equation of the circle. So things just sort of made a bit more difficult. Statistics, reaching conclusions from data, calculating the likelihood of an event occurring. So that's all like dead important stuff for the real world. Yeah, so we've got a lot going on. So the probability of 200-year floods happening in the space of 5 years. And as you can see, a quote from Professor Smith there. Businesses really do value this kind of thing. Mechanics, all to do with physics kind of things here. If you're working physics, you're looking at engineering, this is going to be really useful for you. You might have a problem like that to do with driving a golf ball. You get given the initial velocity, given the angle, you would then from just maths can figure out how far the ball is going to go. So that's a nice problem. There's plenty more stuff like that coming your way if you do this. Further maths, as we've said, is something you don't have to do this. You should really only do it if you are really, really good and really, really keen. It's a big challenge, but the rewards are huge. Further maths, just in year 12, it's sort of split half and half between pure maths and applied. So the applied parts being mechanics, which I've talked about a bit already. Further maths mechanics is kind of builds on that. Decision maths, we'll talk about that in a bit. That's something else new. When it comes to the full A level, the pure maths is now 2/3 of the course, whereas in year 12 pure maths is only half of it. Two big things in pure maths are, in further maths of course, are matrices, and you can see that's arrays of numbers. It's like 1 0 0 2 there. So they have a huge number of uses. As it says there, you can use them to solve simultaneous equations in a new way. You'll have done one or two ways of solving those in GCSE. You can do it a different way with matrices. And also you can use it to represent transformations, which you might think is a bit odd, but there's so many ways in which different areas of maths do connect up to each other, and it's quite amazing to see some of those connections. So you can use matrices to describe transformations like that. Complex numbers, another big idea in further maths. Basically, the imaginary number square root of -1, or I, definitely my favourite number. And it leads to whole new ideas in maths. And oddly, although something that you might not think does exist in some ways, leads to a whole lot of things that certainly do, which is quite a fascinating idea. So discrete decision maths, there are lots of sort of optimisation problems in this. There's one: what's the most efficient way to deliver post through all that network of streets. There's a lot of sort of more modern real world problems that we use maths for in that. So very interesting part of maths that we study in further maths. Okay, so here we can see the 2020 UK A-level entries. We see maths by far the most popular A-level, and further maths still pretty popular there, being a lot more popular than a whole load of more very sort of established subjects. Further maths beating a lot of those, despite the fact that you've got to be really, getting grade 8 or 9 at GCSE just to get onto the course. A lot of people picking it. All of these subjects use maths, obviously including maths. You may not be aware of this. You may be thinking, well, I'm going to go down in the sort of psychology, sociology, biology route, and you might think, well, I don't need maths, but actually you will. We can see a whole bunch of subjects are using maths here: geography, economics, biology, business, psychology. Plenty of subjects using maths. Now girls, you might think A-level maths might be male dominated. Well, that's not true. Maths is the fourth most popular A-level for girls. So please, don't think that this is just some kind of male dominated area. I know I'm a man doing this, but it's not just for boys, okay? A-level maths is certainly a key subject for girls to be considering. So please do not just think, oh, that's not for me, because maths is great, and we would very much welcome as many girls onto our course as want to come onto it, as long as you meet the entry requirements. So a whole lot of none of this stuff is true, okay? All these things on there, I'm not going to read them out because I don't want to reinforce them. None of that is true. All of those subjects, or all those careers rather, can come from maths. So, a huge amount of stuff that maths will take you to all those places. Nice quote from Professor Smith again. Quantitative skills are required in a wide range of occupations and activities, embracing not only the mathematical and physical sciences, but also the social sciences, the humanities and the creative arts. Mathematics is now intrinsic to some aspects of the creative arts, and learning societies argue that students across the sciences, social sciences and humanities need significant quantitative skills, and these should be a central component of their education. So please do consider maths. And if all that worthy stuff isn't good enough for you, compelling evidence of 11% salary uplift. If you happen to do any of those subjects on the left, 6 years on from your A-levels, you'll be earning more money than the others, and 2 of those subjects are maths. Okay, back again. So a whole bunch of careers can involve maths. There's plenty of them, a whole load of stuff. New scientific processes. It's all going to come down to maths there. Even more careers, a load of places you may want to go to. Okay, so if you are thinking of going to a Russell Group University, so top one, these places will want maths as well. Even if you are not doing something that requires maths to it, such as a language or a humanity, you may get a better offer. This is looking at a maths degree, so a standard offer would be AAA perhaps for Leeds, or A*AB, but if you've got further maths in there, they will lower the offer by a grade. If you were looking at engineering, that might go down by a grade as well. Social sciences, you can see that they really want some maths in there, or they might stress that the A must be in A-level maths. A whole load of other stuff here, but generally speaking, the offers will come back to his Bath. So looking at typical offer being one grade lower if you've got maths, whether the subject requires maths A-level or not. Sheffield, again, they'll lower their offers. If you really love maths, and I really hope that you do, you can stretch yourself by obviously taking further maths. Look at the Enrich website, plenty of stuff on there, and a lot of these universities will want you to be doing an entrance exam. So it might be STEP, TIMUR or MAT, a whole load of stuff to prepare for if you're looking to do maths or a heavily maths related subject at university. You'll need an entrance exam. We'll provide some stuff for you. I'll talk about that on the other bit. And so that's all of that. That's why we should study maths. Okay, now looking in a bit more detail to what Embrook can provide, let's have a little look. Okay, first off, if you want to come and study with us, we do set these higher than some other places, but there's good reasons for that. We want you to finish the course. Okay, we don't want you to just get onto it and then all of a sudden find that it's too demanding for you. It's very rewarding. Both of the A levels are maths and further, but if you are not ready to come onto them, it could be a quite frustrating experience. So we want a grade 7 at GCSE for maths and 8 for further maths. If we're looking at our exam board, we have picked AQA. It generally gives us a lot of continuity from what our students are used to at GCSE. A big focus on the pure maths, because that really does what makes you a better mathematician, doing plenty of that pure maths. I'd like to settle you down with a few multiple choice questions at the start of each section, which is kind of good, just so you don't start to panic straight away because you hit a hard question. You know you've got a few marks under your belt. Each bit in sections, the question and answer space is dead useful as well, just like what you're used to at GCSE. So our general ethos in our lessons, this is kind of most important, is that we really do want some active learning going on. We are expecting more and more of the students than we did at GCSE. So we will be expecting you to be conjecturing and testing out your own ideas. It's not going to be so much of a this is how you do it, now do 10 of these. We're going to have a lot of, what do you think, what's your idea? That can be on when we meet in a topic, it can be on when we're working on extended questions throughout it. So more expected of you to think and figure out things for yourselves. So we'll also spend time practicing on the basics. We're not just going to rush through and end up getting everyone confused, certainly not, but we will spend time working on extended problems as well, making use of whiteboards as much as we can. It's been more difficult with the pandemic, but hopefully we'll be back to normal soon. We've got regular kind of testing, checking, understanding and feedback. A big deal of that is with our chapter tests, which I'll come on to talk to in a minute. So resources for you to use, we will sell you, we get great deals off our publishers for these. That's the 2 textbooks that we use for each of our A-levels. We can basically sell you over £60 worth of stuff. We sold to the current year 12 sort of £28 at the start of the year, so we'll get you in everything that you need for a really good price. Textbooks, obviously you bring those at each lesson. Practice papers and revision guides we'll sell to you. We've got our own website on SharePoint, which we're building up now, and it should feature basically a whole full-on online look at our course the way that we do it, so that you can go on there and find exactly what you need. It's not quite finished yet, but it will be soon. We recommend the use of TL Maths or Jack Brown, who's a maths teacher who puts videos on for everything on the course, and that's a really great resource for you to use. Caboodle has all of our textbooks on there, so you can access your textbook online as well as the physical copy. 2 calculators. It's a little bit of a tricky thing as to what you should buy. So the CG50 on the left, that costs on the open market over £100. We've been able to get them a bit cheaper, sort of around 70-75ish. On the right is the ClassWiz, coming in at about sort of £20 to £25. Now the CG50 will plot graphs, and it will do some statistical functions that the ClassWiz won't do. ClassWiz is pretty good, and it's quite quick as well. A lot of the things you need are there sooner rather than later. With the CG50 you've got to go through various menus and stuff like that. It takes a bit more time, a bit more tricky to get used to, but it does do more stuff. So obviously, you know, it's a bit of an investment. I think you probably need to have both. Obviously there will be questions where it says sketch a graph on the exam, and if you've got a calculator that can sketch a graph for you, it makes that question really easy. Okay, so teaching the A-level Maths and Further Maths with myself, Mr. Parry, Mr. Marshall, our lead practitioner and former head of department, and Mrs. Bishop, who very experienced teacher, also former head of department. So we've all been teaching this course since it started, and taught the previous course for a long time before that as well. So we know exactly what's going on here. So for the Maths A-level, so our subject content, you should be familiar with a fair amount of this stuff. Yeah, a fair amount of this material. So the pure maths can come up on any of the 3 papers. So all those things down on paper 1 can also come up on the first 2 parts of paper 2 and paper 3. You should be familiar with most of what those things are. Differentiation and integration is from calculus, and numerical methods is kind of like trial and improvement, but you know, more of that. Then you have paper 2, which is split between half pure and half mechanics, and paper 3 split between half pure and half statistics. Okay. Further Maths is a bit different. You have 2 papers on Further Pure, and then a 3rd paper, which is in fact 2 separate papers. We do the mechanics and the discrete. So basically the applied paper, you just put the 2 booklets on your exam table. So you have a mechanics booklet and discrete booklet, and you've got 2 hours to do them both. For pure, it's just one straightforward exam, on which any of the pure could come up on any of the 2 papers, which is quite demanding. Okay, so looking at what we would do, we've got the in-school assessments. We'll do chapter tests for homework. So you'll have, once we've finished learning the stuff in lessons, then you obviously will have a homework within that. We'll give you a chapter test. We'll give you feedback on that, and you'll have to redo questions that you didn't do badly first time around. They won't be exactly the same questions because we've got test B lined up, which is the same kind of test with the same questions but different numbers in it. So you get to have another go at something once you've seen that you didn't do it well. You have to then get it right the second time. We do tests in year 12, we do the year 12 exam, and we do exams in year 13. The Year 12 exam is on, it's basically the AS exam, and then we use that to help us determine what we'll put for your UCAS references. Year 13, you have mock exams at Christmas and at April, so Christmas will be a cut down version to what you've got through on the course so far, whereas in April of Year 13 you'll give you a full mock, let you know exactly where you're at heading into the big exams. Yeah, a whole load of extras for you. You may have done the maths challenge through the school or through whichever school you're currently at. So we'll keep going with that. The senior maths challenge runs both years. We do the team maths challenge, where we'll take a few of you to have a go against other schools. We did really well last year. It hasn't happened this year because of the pandemic. We did really well last year. We were only beaten in the south area by Eton and Reading boys. We came joint third, I think, so we did really well. The regular problem solving classes, they've gone online this year, but that's really good, along with the lectures at UCL. That's for preparation for these admission tests if you're going to do a maths related degree, so plenty of our students have been taking up those opportunities. We took part in the Particle Physics Day from CERN and Oxford University. That happened online in September. That was a really good event. There's chances to go to Oxford or to watch their online lectures. We also have we run some trips. We've been to a Maths in Action event at London, and we've also gone to Portsmouth University for a problem solving day down there. These haven't been happening this year, but hopefully they will again once things get back to normal. The other extra I want to talk about is Underground Maths, which is a website run by Enrich now. It was previously run by Cambridge University, which has a whole load of resources into which the teachers can build into enrich your lessons using lots of recently created materials along with some old exam questions, and it's really sort of quite nice to have a go at an A-level exam question from 1958 or something like that. It's quite nice. Okay, now try these. Hopefully that's whetted your appetite for the A-level maths and further maths. So there are some online example lessons for you to have a little go at. This should be in the link below. Some for maths, some for further maths. There's some for a course called Core Maths. Unfortunately, we don't run that at Embrook. So have a little look and see what you think. That's that. So any more questions, please do feel free to contact me. Thank you and goodbye.